Hello and good day to you. Today's video, we are demonstrating the use of a stencil in making an embellishment in a stenciling technique of 12 Crafts of Cardmaking. For this project, we'll need Crépe paper. This is by Lidl, Crelando, and there are 10 Crépe paper in a pack. They have different colors. These are the bright, pastel. These are autumn colors. So depending on the season, they bring different colors for them. They bring different colors out. So I just picked out some colors I will be using. We just need a little. So 10 rows. Let me bring the 10 rows each, and 0.5 times 2 meters. That is each of the 10 rows. Each of these has contains the width is 0.5 and 2 meters. The width and height 0.5 by 2 meters. So 2 meters for a row of the Crépe paper. We just need a little, just a little, and you can, and if you decide to fold them to make if you decide to make it thick, it's optional. You can make that, you can make it light, you can go with just one and can layer them. So I've picked out a few of the colors that I'll be using. So I use the light green, and I use the greens for the leaves, the brown for the stamen, and the coral, the peach, and the orange. I'll use them for the blossom, that's the petals. So we need a scissors. We need card because we're going to layer. So first we need our base card. This is an 8-inch card. I've already printed my logo at the back. We need colored cardstock. So I use brown, mint green, and green. We use that for layering. If you don't want to, that's optional. You can meet it. We'll need liquid glue to lay, because we are layering our card. We need liquid glue. Okay, I'll put this with this and use that. We need masking tape. This is optional, but if you want to trace and you don't want to place your hand, you can use a little masking tape to stick the stencil on the card. Okay, I think those two go together. Okay. We need our stencil. I'm using the stencil by Craft, and the number is this leaf pattern. Let me bring it up. There are varieties of leaves on it, and the number is WM30731E. That's the product number. So these are the designs on it. And we are using a second stencil. This is a Camellia Stencil by Crafts. Just make nice blossoms. And because we are making flower and leaves to embellish our card, we'll need, it's optional, you can use pens, you can use the side of a pen or pencil, you just coil the petals around this like so to give nice blossom. But because I want to put some dimension and I don't want to use my pens, I will still demonstrate using pens or the cut or a curved pencil around to curl it around the pencil. I'll need ball tools, embossing ball tools. I got this from, I think this I bought from Amazon. It was about was it £4.99 or £5.99? Yeah, I think £5.99 also. That's the cost. So it's a double-ended ball tool. The good thing about this ball tool is that you can use it for, in millinery, you can use it for hat making. That's if you want to shape flowers for the hat. You can put it on hot stove. I'm going to demonstrate that in another video for my upcoming video book. You put it on hot stove or hot cooking hob, electric cooker. You put it to get it to get heated, and you rub it around the edge of the petal, a fabric flower, to give it dimension. You can even go through it to put veins and leaves on it. You can use it for paper flower. You can use it for, and you can use it for sugar crafting. I have another one, same. I bought different ones because I do different crafts. So I use one is for card making, fabric, and the other one, and the one I use for sugar craft is I got another one for sugar craft. So you can use it for sugar craft to shape petals, fondant petals. You can use it to just put around to shape the petals, the flowers. So you can use it in different crafts, sewing, to create dimension, flower making, to make artificial flowers. You can use this ball tool for it. And in Amazon, I don't know the price now, but I got it, I remember now, $5.99. Got it then, $5.99. In pound, Great British pounds. Okay. So I need a small, very tiny ball tool too. This because I don't want to trace around with pencil or pen. I'm just going to trace around. So you can use a stylus, the thin one without the ball shape end, or you can use a thin ball, the small, very tiny small ball tool, so that you can just go around. When we're practicing it, when we're demonstrating, you see that. So because we need the ball tools, we need a foam mat. This is a flower foaming mat. It's just not a mat, foam mat. If you have, it's thick. I think I bought this from, I don't know, eBay or Amazon. But I bought it very cheap. I can't remember the price, but wasn't expensive. So it's about the same price. I think $2.99 to $3.99. I bought two. There are two in the pack. I don't know if I still have the second one around. You can use it for sugar craft, the same. So you can use it for sugar craft, flower making. Yeah, just flower forming mats with this for them. So I use for sugar craft. I use it for fabric designing, to do flowers, for sewing, to do embellishment, to make flowers, artificial flowers for clothing. To also I use it for millinery, to do flowers for hearts. Then sugar craft for to make flowers for the cake, or their flower forming mat. When we are demonstrating, you see it's almost the same technique. So I just put it aside, and we need a glue gun. This is Lidl's glue gun. The good thing about this gun is that it's electric. I've already connected it so you can see the cable. And it has a stand, came in with a stand. I'll just slightly bring it so that I don't disconnect it from the cable, from the electric socket. It has a stand. Let me clear it a bit so that you see properly. It has a stand and it's detachable. Let's go closer. Okay. So it connects to the stand, to the glue gun here, and it came in a box. So it came in a box. There's a manual in it, and this is the package for it. This package, the box is inside this packaging. You have glue gun. Sorry, you have glue sticks in it, and you have nozzles. You have extra nozzles. We have two extra nozzles in case you want. You know, there's some time you need a very long nozzle to go into some bit. You want some. So these are the extra nozzles with it. Just place them back. It's a nice glue gun. It stands on its own. The one thing I like about it is that it can stand on its own. And for the stand, it has a silicone edge here. Yeah, this silicone, so that the glue can drop. In case you place it on the stand, it can drop. You don't need to be on your table and cause harm. So it can be there, and if there's any glue dripping from it, it drips into the silicone. And they really thought about it. And at the end, back, if you put it on, there's a light on it. This light goes on when it's plugged, so you know when it's connected to electricity. When it's on, you know. Then what else again? Okay, it has another stand here to protect the nozzle from touching the work surface. So it has another stand. You can activate that stand and you can take it in. And this is your release lever to press to release the glue. And here's our glue stick already fixed in it. Okay, so let's go to the other one. I can't remember the price, but if you go to Lidl, you see it. And because we need our glue gun, if you want to use liquid glue, you can use. If you want to use foam pads, you can use. If you desire to use these are glue stick too. It fits the glue gun. They are the same product. You can see the image of the glue gun in there. Okay, so this glue, the thing about this glue stick, I'll just bring one out. They are glitter glue sticks. So you can use them for the stamens if you want to fill in the stamens. If you want to. But I'm just going to make the stamens clear. After putting the brown, I'll just put a blob of glue to make it clear. So if you want to, you can. But this is good too for festive periods to add some glitter. And we need our guillotine. Yeah, our guillotine. Or paper trimmer. We need our paper trimmer or guillotine. I'm using the paper trimmer side of it. These two, I got it from Lidl. I think I'm not a very good customer there. Alright. Okay, so I'll just clear the work surface and we'll start. You can see it's on. That's why the light is showing. If I take it, you see that the light is gone. So it's connected. That's why it's showing. So it's riff. I just push it to the side. We need you. What we're going to do first is the flowers. I'm just going to place the stencil. We need to go a bit closer for this. I'm just placing it on a copier paper. I just want to show the different layers of the stencil. So I've taken 3-color pencil and the blossom stencil, the Camellia stencil, sorry. Blossom design. So what I'm going to do is for the inner part, I'm just going to trace it. We don't really need it, but if you want templates, this is how you make them. Yeah, you cut around it and you can place it on the crepe paper, and then you can cut out your design. So we've just placed it. That's the first one. The second one, I'll just place it differently for those that are thinking of making So using the purple color pencil, just going to trace the second layer part of the stencil. So that's the second flower. And the third one we're going to make, I'm going to use the green to just trace around the edge of it. You can decide any layer to make. So these are the 3 layers we'll be tracing on our crepe paper and cutting out to make our flower. I just put those ones aside. Okay, then for the leaves, sorry, I forgot that. For the leaves, I'm using the small leaves here, this small leaf design, and I'll just, you don't need to be detailed, you just need to trace. And you can complete it when you finish and then cut around it. I know the color pencil is not really dark enough, but we can still see. So I'll put that aside and we'll start working. I've already cut out some leaves, but I need a lighter shade. So I'm going to cut the lighter shade of leaves first, then we'll do the blossom. If you want to, when you cut out one of the crepe paper, you can now decide if you want it thicker or you want it lighter. So if you want it thicker, just fold. You don't need to stretch. I'll just put it over to make sure it's almost the same. It's a little larger. And I'll fold. So place the stencil on it. Then using the small stylus to the very tiny ball tool, I'm just going to trace like what I did with the pencil. I'm going to be careful. Why I said a ball tool instead of pointy stylus? It's because the stylus can cut into the crepe paper, but the ball tool we just put an imprint on the paper. So taking it, you can see the imprint, the leaf imprint. So you can see the leaf imprint that we just made. I'll take the scissors and then cut. So we have a lot of leaves now. I'll put that aside. I'll just put it to the side with the other flowers that I made. I'll put it to the side with the other flowers that I made. Then we'll make the petals. You can still cut little flowers from the leftovers, or you can scrunch them to make stamens and put you can put glitter on them, or just like that it can become centers for flowers. This is also good, especially when you're looking for centers for flower, like you want to make a sunflower, you're looking for centers. If you decide to use paper, you can use lightweight paper. For this, I've cut out of lightweight paper, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the crepe paper, as I said earlier. So if you don't have crepe paper, you can use lightweight paper, about 130 grams of paper from this. It's still the Crelando brand, but this one is a card. So you need a paper pack of it. The paper pack contains 50 paper pads. Sorry, 50 sheets. So now we've cut the leaves, we need to cut the blossom. And I'll just take a little, if I don't have any extra one now. Okay. So put this, I'll finish with this. And if you want your flower to be fuller, you can decide to make that. So I'm just going to make, I've been making flower things, so I'm going to just make a little now. Just cut. So this for the outer petal, and I don't know if it's too small. Let me see. To place the stencil. So I just folded it in half to create a layer. And I'm going to trace the outer part. This for the largest petal. So I'm just going to trace with a small ball tool. Although it's very faint, but you can, if you look closely, you can see it. So I'm going to cut it out as I did for the leaves. I'll put this aside. I'm going to make 2 at once, so I'm going to add this orange. If you want dimension, I'll put this aside. Yes. If you want dimension, you want to create a fuller flower, you can do that. Although it's 3 layers of flowers, you can make it 6 layers by duplicating each layer. And by the time you arrange your flowers, you will have a fuller flower. Something like this. This one has, by the time we start arranging, making it fuller, coiling them, we'll have a fuller flower. Although we have just 3 layers, but making a lot of petals for each layer makes your flower fuller. Just going to put this. So now I've added the coral to the orange. Going to trace around them as I did for earlier florals, earlier petals. This saves time of cutting each petal separately. Each color. This saves time of cutting the petals of each color separately. Especially when you're working with, as I'm working with the same petal, I need to make different colors of a particular petal layer. Using the smaller side of the brush, using the smaller side of the ball too, I'm going into the smaller petal, and you can see how it's coiling in on its own. Just place it in the center, roll it around. And here we have a nice. So I'll go through this, I'll go around this other one again. Now I'm going to use a mid-size bottle for this. I've gone with the large size. I'm going to go with a mid-size and try and get a different effect. And you can create different types of flower by going around the bottle or going around the petal with the bottle. Can also work from back. It depends if you want a coil, if you want a coily petal or an overturned petal. So I'm working on the back but not the middle, so that the petals can have a coiling effect, as if the leaf is turning over, to create a nice dimension. Then in front, I'll work on only the center of the flower. So I've gotten a cupped effect, and you can see if I place my finger around, you can see it coiling. That's because I walked at the back of the petal, I walked around the scallop edge of the petal, working on the back of the petal flower, I made a scallop edge. Then working in front, I worked only the center of the flower. That's how to achieve that effect. So I'll do same for the leaves. The leaves, they don't really need much work, so I just go straight in a flickery or feathery strokes, just to create the effect I want. So I'm going to go with a smaller ball tool now. Just go around, and if I want to create vein, can use that to create veins for the leaves. So we've done our petals, and here are the ones I did previously, and these are the ones we did just now. These are the ones I did before the off camera, and these are the ones that we did now. So these, okay, I did this one off camera. So as I said earlier, you can use paper. This is paper and this is crepe paper. This is just lightweight cardstock or cardstock, 135 grams in weight. This is crepe paper. So I'll put these ones aside, and I'll bring in our card. The size of our card is 8-inch card, and because of that, I want to make I just want to make a thin base, and I want to layer some of the card. I want to layer the cardstock at the base to act as a nice design. So 20 centimeters, 8 inches. So I think this one is okay, it's 8, that means it's 8 inches. This strip that I cut off, I'm just going to make it thinner. Don't need to measure, just want to have a nice just looking for a strip. I'm gonna put it around the card like so. So we have that, and I'm going to put don't need to make much. So I make this 10 centimeters. Perhaps I will need to use the remaining. Use this one. Same, it's the same size. So just going to use. So just put it and put the flower on it. I wanted to make martinelli. No, I'm not going to layer this. So with the liquid glue, I'm just going to glue. Just change my design. We're going to place it and just glue. Okay. So we'll place our flower here, and that's our card. We can place any sentiment we want here. I'm not going to layer anymore. I've just changed the design pattern. So bring in all the flowers and we'll start building our flower. So I'm just going to bring in our glue gun. It has to do its job. And if you take a look at it, you can see it's charging. You can see the reflective like this. So it's charging. Hot now. So I'm using it as a cordless. I'm going to just put a little glue and glue the first and second layer together. I'm going to add another layer and I'll make the flower. Perhaps by the time I finish, the flower will change. I'm going to add a new layer here. I'm now working on top of my card. Just going to put this. And I'm going to... So what I'm going to do is, instead of... I just had another idea. Instead of putting it so that it layers, I'm going to put glue in between. Let me come closer. So now I'm lifting the flower, the smaller petal up, and between it, I'm going to, I place it in the middle, and now I'm bending it over. I'm going to place glue here. I want to make a fuller petal. I'm going to place the flower there again, bend it, add more glue. I'm going to add flower there again. So now I have a different, I have a fuller shape petal or flower. So you can create different ones like so. so that the flower will be fuller. And in the middle here, I'll place the brown. Can do same for the brown because the brown has smaller petals. Just place this one here, place this here, and get a little brown and place this one here. So in the middle of the brown, you can see we have a fuller flower than what we started with. So in the middle of the flower, I'm going to just put a blob of glue. If I have a clear glue, if I were using, I'll do same for the center so that it acts as a statement there. If you want to use beads, you can use beads. But as I said, I'm not doing embellishment. Crafting, I'm using stencil to create an embellishment. So I don't want you to go and start looking for beads. I want us to use what, this is a technique video, and I want us to use what we have. So that you can create a flower with a petal and glue. I'm not going to look for beads to act for as a stamen for the petal. So you can use the glue gun, just place it in and make a very large blob, and you have a nice stamen. It dries clear, so it's going to be nice like clear petals. That's what we're going to do. Just put them on the card, and you can see we have a fuller and nicer petal. So the second one I'm going to do, I'm going to make the base fuller because I don't like that this kind of flat. So the first one is going to be flat. Now come with some two other petals. The same. I'll put here. Oh, glue that one properly. Glue you quick. Then I'll add this. Just create a flower as you're comfortable with. Don't be scared to make mistakes. That's how I learn. I'm going to put this. I'm doing this one differently from the first one we did. Just going to put this brown in here. While the glue gun is charging, I'll be arranging the petals to make it fuller. So you see, this one is different from this one. Means you can make any petal, you can make any flower design you want, and you can shape them as you want to make them fuller, and you can build them the way you want. So get ready for my third petals, and I'll start arranging the leaves. I'll just chuck them in, not much. Pair them. You don't need to pair them, I'll just chuck them in. Let me get ready for my last petal, my last flower. Oh, you don't have any bottom petal anymore. Okay, can make tiny ones. Yeah, that's nice. Make little ones. Okay. We check it. Two for this. Now we use one for this. Okay, we have this was one I did yesterday. We're going to just add you two there. Okay. Push this aside and I'll work on this one. So I'm going to make it finished. I used all my base petal, the bottom petal, so I'm going to put that in. Don't think it's hot enough. The glue is not coming out. So I'm just going to try and cup this petal. Cup it more. Just put this here. And then we use these ones to glue this. Place glue. Just placing them in the center of this other petal, and just I'll try and remove the glue strings. The glue gun to make some kind of strings. I'll be fast about this other one. Just place it. For this one, I won't just lay it like that. I will alternate it to make it fuller. You can also alternate your the petal design to make it fuller. So I'm going to alternate the arrangement of the petal. So that it overlaps nicely and create a fuller flower. I'm just going to put a blob to act as a stamen. Just trying to arrange it. So you can see I alternated the petal. One is in between the other petal. It also creates fuller flowers if you alternate petals. Alternate the layering of the petals or the overlaying of the petals. I'm just going to squeeze in to create dimension. So now bring the card, and then you can use liquid glue for this, you can use a glue gun for this. So I'm going to start layering the leaves. Not all the leaves, I'll just place them, just place some glue, and I'll build my leaves there. If you are not sure how you want to, it's because I have a lot of leaves, that's why I'm placing glue on them like that. And remember, glue gun dries quickly. So what I'm going to do is just to place on So if you're not fast, make sure you do them one after the other. I think I took it too far. This one is not going to place the glue gun. Place the glue when you are not ready. So now I have to trim some of my leaves. So I just created leaf bed, a bed of leaves, and I'm going to start placing okay, let me get the two one here. Your flower don't need to be big if you don't want it to be big. I want it to be big because I'm just making just a plain card and the sentiment to be here. So why not? I want to make a get well soon card and can take flower in. Making a get well soon card. So I want the flower to be pronounced. I'm just going to hide this behind this. The glue is not coming out properly, so I need to put another one to push it properly so that it comes out. Okay. I'm going to put this here. Hide you. Where will I put you? Okay, we have too much dagger in here. I'm going to just hide you. Oh, do I have enough flour to? Yeah, it looks so empty. So I'm going to try and twist some flower leaves. I'm going to squeeze the leaves just to create kind of. That place looked too empty, too bare. So I'm just going to put glue gun and bend the leaves to create a kind of uplifting there so that It's not noticeable that I didn't have I don't have much flour because I ran out of flowers. So I'm going to just try to create. Then if you don't want the leaves coming out, you can add glue to the back of it and then bend the leaf so that it creates a kind of dimension. And with that, you can reduce the size. You can prevent the leaves from coming out. If you don't want to use glue gun for this, you can use liquid glue. So now our flower is looking different from the stencil we started with. Here's our stencil. So here's our finished card. If you want to layer, let me cut a strip. So I think it's just plain. I'm just going to cut strips. Cut another strip. So I'm just going to cut strip for the card, for the base of the card. Like so. Just space it. Gonna put this, okay, got a brown, it was a brown strip we had before, so I'm going to reduce from it and add the white. We're going to add this to this, and then I need a tiny white stripe. So I just cut straight, and I want to try and see if it's going to be nice at the base of the card. Okay, I think I like it now. It's not happening again. I think I like this. Okay, so I'll just with the liquid glue, the same width but different lengths, right? Put the brown and then the cream. I didn't know there was my. So I'm gonna place this on the top here. This one also. I mistakenly cut out the petal, but I'm going to work with these ones. Just roll a little. Then. So I'm going to glue it to the end. Yeah, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue and put the petal. I'll put this one in from the other side. You can use the bottle to help you to place the petal properly. Then this third one we go. So if I cut them out of 3 different colors, make a nice edge there. Tiny, teeny weeny. But it's nice. Now I'm happy with my card. So although I changed the design, I wanted to make a mapping and layering. I tried to make strip border the end of the card. And add a little bit of embellishment. I added this embellishment here, this flower here, cut out from the same stencil, because when I was adding the strip, I made a little mess with the glue. And I'm trying to hide that. Okay, well, I need a little glue here. Just a touch. Good, thank you. So I added a flower here, this teeny weeny flower here, and made it, I created dimension with it because I made a mess with the glue when I was putting the strip down. Some glue seeped out and it's noticeable and I don't like it. So I want to cover it. You can cover it with a topper. You can, depend on what you want to use. It can even be that's where the sentiment is. You can just cover it. So thanks. Here's our beautiful card. So thanks for joining me for this video of using the stencil to create an embellishment for 12 crafts of card making and stenciling technique. You can visit the blog anino.ogunjobi.com to see what's happening in the crafting industry. Until next time, happy crafting, happy designing, and bye for now. Thank you once again.